Hello, and welcome to another training session for Active Planner. And in a previous training session, we looked at building OLAP cubes within Active Planner, and then analyzing those cubes using the Excel pivot tables. Today, what we're going to do is look at a similar concept, and that is using the Analyzer tool to look at OLAP cubes that were built within Active Planner. So let's take a quick review. The cube that we built is based on the sales analysis, and if we look at any of the plan sheets that we used for the sales analysis, we can see that the sheets themselves are based on territories, and the dimensions that were used in creating these sheets would be the product category, and then a tier dimension comprised of territories and salespeople within those territories. The data that we have available to us would be the prior year actuals and then the current year budgets. Okay, so let's take a look at using the Analyzer tool then to slice and dice the sales analysis. So the first thing that we want to do is to go to the Cubes folder here in the task pane to select our desired cube, and then to click the Analyzer smart icon. So this will launch the Analyzer tool, looking at that particular cube, OLAP cube that we've selected. And so the first thing we see is that it brings the big blue bar, if you will, showing all budget data for all plan sheets. And basically we have available to us the various items, our measures, that would be our budgets and prior year actuals, plan sheets, product categories, salespeople, and territories. Looking down here, we can see that by default, it put the plan sheet hierarchy on the rows and then the date in the columns. What we want to do is just switch a few of these items around to allow us to more correctly, or at least based on what we would want to do, slice and dice the data a little more appropriately. So what we're going to do is get rid of the plan sheet hierarchy and instead slide the territories down here on the rows. And then we'll move the date hierarchy down here and move our budget measure here on the columns. And so now what we're doing is we're looking at the budget values for all territories. And basically the idea is as you make entries or make adjustments or select items over here on the left, you need to move your cursor back to the right pane, and then the data will refresh. And so what we're seeing is all territories, the budget for all territories is $99 million, which is interesting, but what's more interesting, of course, is once you start to slice and dice the information. So what we're going to do is just simply right-click here and drill down. So we're looking at all territories, so let's go ahead and slice it into territories. And as soon as we do that, we can see that we're now seeing a bar graph showing all of the territories. On the bottom, we can see the actual values, a nice little chart there. And here are the bar graphs representing each of the territories. As I hover my mouse over any one of the bars, we can see some detailed information about that particular territory. So the territory US 02 representing Eastern US, that has a value of $28 million, or if you look at the details here, 27,970,20, which would be about 28% of all of the selected items in the budget. And then hovering over any one of the other territories, we can see the similar values for those items as well. If we right-click here, we can see that we can very easily switch the chart type if you prefer pie chart versus the bar chart. And it uses kind of like an Internet Explorer type of an interface. So if we just simply click the back arrow here, we move back to the previous view of the data. Okay, the next thing we want to look at would be taking one of these items, and if we go ahead and right-click on one of them, we can drill down even further. So let's choose our item here and drill down into the let's drill down into the product category. And so we see now then for the US 04, which is the Western US, that we have the following product categories. You can see the values there, and if we hover our mouse over any one of the bars, you can see the details about that. And we also get the opportunity then to right-click and drill down even further. So let's drill down into the salesperson. And so now for glassware in the US West, we can see that these are the salespeople that sold this product. Then for that particular territory, we can see the values. Again, hovering your mouse over any one of the bars will give you the details about that. And so we can see that Brian Foster is the one who sold the most product and the most glassware in the territory. Okay, again, we can use our back arrow here to move back and forth through the various views. So let's take a look now at, just back up here a little bit further. And so if we take a look at the territories, click on the plus sign here, we can see that this is the list of all of the territories. So if instead of analyzing everything one piece at a time, we wanted to actually look at a collection of items, we can click on, for instance, US 1, 2, using the control key, and selecting these 4 items as we move our mouse over here. Now we are seeing the 4 territories as they compare to one another. So just a nice way to then kind of analyze the information, looking at a comparison of the multiple items. So I just wanted to show you how we can use the tool to do that as well. All right, and so if we wanted to look at for our measures, instead of looking at the budget, if we wanted to look at the prior year actual instead, then we could just select that, and now we're looking at all territories and the prior year actuals. Of course, we can drill down into there just like we did on the budget. So you can see that this is a very, very powerful tool. Gives you quite a bit of capability in looking at and slicing, dicing your information, analyzing it in the way that you want. At any point, we can take the information that we're viewing and we can copy it so that we can throw it into perhaps an Excel file, or more likely into a Word document, or perhaps into our PowerPoint. We also have the ability to save any one of our views then as what's called an analyzer book. A book would be a collection of various views that we can open up later on, and it will refresh the view looking at the latest or the current OLAP information. So it's a nice way to have a collection then of these different views of our data. So we can come back and analyze new information in the same manner. The other thing I wanted to show you was what's called the decomposition tool. And so if we take one of our values, let's go ahead and go back to our budget again. We're seeing the large blue bar here representing the entire budget. What we want to do is right-click here and go ahead and say that what we want to do is analyze this data in what's called the decomposition tree. So let me just slide this down out of the way, give us some more room. And basically we start by looking at all of the data for all of the budget data for all territories. And so as we click on it, the first thing it does is to decompose the data into the individual territories. And what it's displaying here would be the ones with the greatest amount of information. So the ones that you would be most likely to drill into further would be the territories with the most budget, the highest budget values. So this would be the top 4, and the bottom 7 are shown here collectively. And so if we choose one of the territories, for instance, US 3, we can right-click on that and drill down to the salespeople. We can easily see that George, Bernie, Rudy, and Luis are the top sellers here, and then this would represent the bottom 3. Choose any one of these. We can right-click and then drill down to the product category. And now we can see that Bernie sells 79% of what Bernie sells is clothing, and that represents 3.7 million. And likewise, you can see what the other breakdowns are for the other things that he's selling. It's a great way to slice and dice the tree, slice and dice your data in the tree-like structure here, and gives you a real nice overview of the information. Okay, these were the things that I wanted to cover regarding the Analyzer tool, and I will look forward to working with you in a future session. Thank you.